Hello, everyone. It's Nikki Batgirl D'Angelo here with Ben Lesnick for another Bensday with Batgirl and Ben. Hi, Ben.
Hey!
Welcome back to work.
Thank you. It's very, very good to be here.
Yeah? You're already back to work in those 12-hour shifts?
Not quite 12 hours yet, but it's very, very good to just have an idea what's going on again.
Yeah, you let go of the reins for a little bit there, didn't you?
I did.
Well, I'd like to say that my interaction with Jared at, as your fill-in was amazing. He was just dead on in both the Q&A, which I recorded for everybody.
I heard about that.
Yeah, and also at the Bar Citizen. Just thank Jared for being such a gracious host and amazing presenter, and along with David Haddock, they were amazing, both of them.
They're both really good eggs.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll all be there next year.
I hope so, because next year we'll have the Star Wars group there again because of, the Jedi ending and everything, So, couple of questions for you. So, in your title is something about ships, right?
Yes.
So, in your absence, to me, one of the most beautiful ships ever made by CIG or presented to us in a concept sale, the 600i was released, and immediately people jumped on board buying it. From what I saw, whether it was melting things, whether it was buying CCUs, because there's a big CCU craze these days, or by actually buying the ship. I melted some things and bought the ship. I think it's gorgeous, but then the QA happened, and the Q&A happened, and all of a sudden, people were like, melt the ship, it stinks, it's horrible. And the ship isn't even done in production. Can you give me your thoughts on, where the ship is, what its vision is? Because you had to be one of the people that thought it up, right?
Yes, I worked on it early on and helped plan the campaign. I was just not here for the actual release. But yes. And I think this one is largely on us. It was the Q&A that was confusing, and it seemed like we were saying, oh, there's no point to having the ship, and that's absolutely wrong. It's essentially, it was designers speak directly without kind of thinking of the bigger picture.
Okay.
As far as I can tell, I'm kind of following up all on this after the fact. They were looking at it as, no, it doesn't work the same as the Constellation Phoenix because it doesn't have the cargo. It doesn't have, we won't run cargo missions like the Constellation Phoenix. And that was the extent of that answer. They're not thinking of this, VIP personal transport idea or any of the future luxury stuff they're working on. There's going to be more to it. We just aren't quite there yet.
Okay.
So it's hard to explain this exactly, but we're not going to offer a ship for $400 that we don't think is worth at least that in the Vital Universe.
So there's an equation, though, right? And tell me if I'm right with this equation. The first piece is the space frame. What's the space frame? What's it made of? How does it look? How rare is it, right? So rarity comes in, and I'm going to talk about rarity again. The next thing is the equipment that it comes with, and the rarity of the equipment that it comes with, and the quality. Just because it's an S2 weapon, it might be a better S2 weapon that's something like the Aquila comes with.
Absolutely.
So, can you elaborate a little bit on that equation that we're talking about?
I think you have it down pretty much exactly.
Because we talked before about this with other ships people flew off the handle about. Yeah.
And Pete Mackey in Austin is the guy who gets full credit for the pricing matrix and all that stuff. But he, every ship breaks down into 30 or 40 different components, and each one has a rarity and a value and all that. There's also the idea of role, how we see it affecting the economy in-game. There's a prestige idea, which is especially important in the 600, but that's not the end of the line. We look down the road and we see there's a value to having a prestigious ship. It's more than just, oh, this is a fancy ship. It's, oh, NPCs think this is a fancy ship, and oh, you're in another there's other areas of the world open to you because you drive this car instead of this car. And it really is, like, for personal transport stuff, it's the difference between, like, Uber X and the big fancy Uber that I can never afford.
Me too. You can't get picked up in a Porsche Americana or whatever it's called, right?
But there are people who can, and they pay a lot more space credits for it.
Yeah. I'm interested in this because I also see another piece of the puzzle, which is CIG does listen to the fans. You know, look at the Freelancer, look at the Cutlass, and how does fan acceptance, excitement about a product affect its development process? Because right now it's a piece of paper with a drawing on it, and now it's going to start going into development. So how does the feedback that you're getting from the fans at this point, from the backers that have bought it, how is that going to affect the production of it in the future?
Well, in this case, I don't even know if it'll be particularly impactful, because I think it's just an error in communication more than anything else. But for pretty much anything, you know, people write tomes and tomes worth of comments on every ship, and you would be surprised how much of that we take and we categorize and we give to the designers when they're working on it. It is a big deal. We hope to avoid things like the Cutlass, where it took forever for us to get it right.
But it looks awesome.
It does look awesome. I think we had to make another ship first, and then redo it 3 times, but we got it right. And you know, that's our overall arching sensibility for everything. The aim is never to do something people don't want.
So this gives me hope for seeing an actual useful 300i series.
Yes, absolutely, there will be a useful 300i series.
Because I love the Origin ships. I really do. And this gives me hope because it's beautiful. And right now, we only have 3 real ships. I mean, I know we have something else. Don't they make the big... They make something else, right? They make the 890, the 600, and the 300. And the little runabout.
They do the X1, the 85X, the M50 Racer, the 300 series, the 600 series, and the 800 series. So, you have any wink future things they might work on? I think the only thing we have, well, I mean, you folks have heard about the X1 that's coming, and there's going to be an Origin rover of some sort that we're building for the 600.
All right.
That is everything I can think of right now for Origin. Although, you know, I feel like this time there was a point where we had no Origin ships, and now it feels like we have a full lineup. So,
but you need like a frigate size that has have people all in those white shoes and white coats walking around it with white helmets on. I know,
like an even bigger 890.
It looks like a ball, space balls. Yeah, even bigger 890. No, the Titanic. Oh, that's going to be cool. Well, I'm a firm believer that trading my cat for the 600i was the right thing to do, and not my real cat, the caterpillar. So people
behind you.
Just so people don't call PETA on me. So there's some other things going on in the universe too. There was a whole skip of a monthly report.
We don't always do a monthly report when we do Gamescom. We frequently skip that one. I think our schedule this year ends up... In fact, I know our schedule. We end up having 12 in the year. If we don't skip one, then there's 13, because we do it every 4 weeks instead of every month now.
Okay.
But there will be one this current month. It's going to be a written one instead of a video one, because they're doing... Recently, we've been doing the videos, and we cut them out of ATV, and we kind of build it around that. Now we have to go back to the old style. And
okay.
I know there's some producers grumbling about that, but we will get one out for September.
That is great. Well, I pretty much took the cost of a Caterpillar package and went flying this week for the first time in 17 years.
I saw your video on Twitter. That's fantastic. That's so cool.
I was so excited about that. But when I looked at it, I was like, oh my God, I hope they don't come out with another ship before I am able to make this money back. I'm wondering about something that you and I talked about in the past, and that's we were talking about when 3.0 comes out, and you were talking about there's a game changer. Have we seen that yet? You don't have to tell me if it's coming. We have not seen it.
We have not seen it yet.
And you still think, and it's not just you, other people, because sometimes you over-exaggerate a little bit.
This one is not an exaggeration. There's a very big deal, very big ship on its way.
So excited.
In fact, I will say we have 2 vehicles in the rest of the year. Well, we have more than 2 vehicles, but there's one that people saw on a Foundry 42 tour, and I got all these tweets. They're like, "Wink, we saw it!" And I was like, "Oh, they showed that?" So I went and asked them, and they're like, "No, we showed them this other thing." So there's another one people are excited about.
They've talked about the Shubin base so much. I just want someone to bring me on a tour of it, just a virtual tour. They should do it for Oculus Rift so we can be inside of it. It would be awesome. So, I see a lot of work on the facial work, right? So in that group, like moving face over IP, people are like thinking that that's something that was just thrown in all of a sudden added. That is something that CIG did talk about on Wingman's Hangar a while ago.
Oh, yeah. We started looking into that as sort of a research project back in, really early on. I remember Eric Peterson shaking me, going to his office, and he had some little rig set up where he was like making a dog face and the dog would talk. We've been investigating that technology for a while, and then we made this arrangement with these guys who are really pulling it off, and it's been 18 months. I don't know the timeline exactly, but it's been a while since we've had this in the can.
Yeah. So, and have you had any chance to play with the little camera?
I haven't. No.
Okay. I find it. Do you know what the uncanny valley is?
Yes. The idea that something is so real that it's unreal.
Yeah, and I find that this puts me right in that valley.
It's tough. I'm sure that like any other sort of balance, it'll be.
It just seems like they put this in, but there's not enough, like in the lips and stuff. It doesn't seem like they move enough to be human. So to me, it's like. Yeah, I think it's cool, and it's a way to express yourself. I really like the positional audio better. Someone just ran right past your... Wow. I really like the positional audio, but it's like that just gets me right to that semi-creepy zone that I'm like, yeah, Mass Effect Dead Eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I can't speak to what they're doing, but they're doing something.
So they're gonna have to change how many points move at some point. So
none of this is final. This is our first sharing it with the world.
So let's go to a question from Marcus. Oh my god, I don't have my glasses. This is gonna be hard. Given the recent lore post about an Argo pilot rescuing military personnel in Virgil by making several trips between the planet and the moon, does that mean that the Argo will receive a short-range quantum drive? Because that would totally make sense and make the Argo quite more useful for our smaller moving operations.
No plans at the moment.
All right, then you need to take that lore and throw in the garbage, right? Then Solothkar asks, and what about a rescue Argo version? Any plans on that yet? Like the nanny from Starlancer.
You know, I seem to recall that we did spec out a rescue Argo at one point. I'm not sure if it's on any schedule, but it is something we've talked about.
And it's highly modular, so I mean, it's probably something that can be done in short order, right?
Yeah, the Argo was very much created as this, well, we have these 4 things we're going to need to do in the Squadron 42 campaign, and we don't have ships for them, so here's a thing that we can solve different problems with. It's possible, and my memory is hazy here, it's possible we went with the Cutlass instead of the Argo for that, whatever particular mission called for that. But
the Cutlass is a bigger thing to me. It's more like the C9 Nightingale, where it moves a few stretchers back and forth. And the Argo makes more sense. It's like the Bell helicopters in Korean War, picking up the 2, right? MASH. It would be cool.
One of the things I did while I was recovering was I was listening to the audiobook of the Lyndon Johnson, his like Anyway, he flew around in a helicopter when he was running for the Senate. It was like the first time a politician ever had a helicopter. It was a Bell helicopter. That's a connection that makes sense to no one else. But
ADD. All right, so Cartago Basti wants to know, and I'm going to put this in a different light because I want you to be able to answer the question. We have a few concept sales left in the year without giving us an idea of which one comes first. What are some of the civilian jobs or the jobs that you can see the next few ships filling?
I have the answer, but it would give away way too much about...
It won't give away names, sizes, types.
No, it would give away the game that was being changed.
Oh, it would give away the game changer?
Yes.
Damn you!
It's going to be a big civilian job ship.
Oh, so it is a terraforming ship, folks. You got it from me. That's what I'm thinking. It's a terraforming ship. Yeah.
We have plenty of planets that have already been terraformed that need to be explored first.
All right, so let's see. Not a question, this is from Black Thunder, but tell Ben, I hope he's recovering well and the surgery holds without complications. You have like a million. You have a million of these. Literally a million of these.
People have been so great.
Yeah, they have been to you. They love you, Ben. You are you are the nicest person. Well, you and Dr. Jeffrey are the nicest people I know in the whole world.
Oh, he's nicer than me.
You guys, you both are. And Allie puts up with you, so she's got to be nice too.
No, she's mean.
She is not mean. She might have a little bit of meanness in it. No, I don't think so.
No.
I think she's sweet as hell.
She puts up with a lot.
I'm sure. So let's ask Captain Kern's question from August 11th. Ben, will the Carrack have the same exploration capabilities as the Aquila for exploring objects, or is it just for jump points? Can you add more equipment on the Carrack and give it the comparable abilities of the Aquila, hence combining all explorations into one ship? No, right?
We still have to revisit the Carrack because it needs its game tech integration. But my understanding is that the Carrack is much more of a ship than the Aquila. It's the exploration ship you want to work towards.
Got one.
What's that?
I said got one.
Oh.
What about the Terrapin?
Terrapin? The Terrapin's being finished off right now.
Is that something we should know?
Yeah, I was on one of those studio updates recently.
All right, so it's being finished off right now. It's going to be cool. But that's kind of... I mean, I know it's a scout, but it's kind of sort of an exploration ship too, right?
Yeah, not in the same... I mean, yes, but not in the same, like, here's a massive ship built just for exploration with all this scanning equipment and charting and all that. Terrapin is much more, here's a ship that's going to get you through some tough times. This is a...
All right. So in the exploration world... ships that have been said they are explorers are the Aurora LX, the 315P, the Freelancer Dur, and now you separate into a Aquila, Constellation Aquila, and the 600i, and then
they're about the same tier.
Yeah, and then you jump up to the Grand
Carrack.
Behemoth BL.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to make a statement, and you tell me you could react to that statement. I find that there's still many people that make their videos that want one ship to do everything. So when they talk about the Aquila, they talk about the Phoenix, they talk about the 600, they expect them to be able to not only do what their mission is, but to be a defensive and offensive force. My thought is I see these working in tandem with other ships. So you have your friends covering you in fighters that can make jumps, or potentially with the Carrack bringing along a couple of Polarises.
Absolutely. You're never going to have a ship that is everything. You're going to have a ship that works with a system of other ships. And it just wouldn't be any fun if there were one perfect ship. It wouldn't be fun to make them, or it wouldn't be fun to play them.
And I think that makes sense. When you sent B-17s off into Germany, you sent Mustangs and Thunderbolts and Lightnings to protect them, right?
Absolutely.
So it made sense. It made a lot of sense. All right, so that was what I was thinking.
And
All right.
even just a car, if I want to get something somewhere real fast, a sports car is a good idea. But if I need to move my friend's TV, I need a truck.
You're the one that brought up sports car. Do we have another racer in the mix at some point?
There's not a racing...
Because we have we have 3 real racers, but 2 that go against each other. We have the MISC, and we have the 350, the M50. You see another company making one of those?
I see another company doing one, not this year, and we have not kicked off another racer. We've got a speedy little bike coming
that we saw. We got to see it.
It was awesome. First.
It was awesome. You stand up on it. That was kind of weird, but it looks good. It looks good. It's not the Ducati I wanted.
No, it's more of like a Minority Report sort of a space bike.
It's like a motorcycle crossed with a Segway. But it looked good. It looked good. Now, Ben, I'm very happy to have you back. I'm going to let you go because we need you back working and getting more information to tell us next week.
So, I have a lot of catching up to do.
Will we see a correction in a post by somebody to the Q&A?
We will get better information out, but we're going to make sure it's right first.
Okay.
In fact, Jared and I have a meeting, I think, next week with our design folks to talk luxury to kind of make sure we're on the same wavelength as them. Right. So the next time we chat, I should have better information. I think absolutely we'll get. Lately we've.
I don't mean to put you on the spot with that. I'm just.
No, totally. I absolutely understand. It's one of those things where we don't want to give bad information, and we're at a position where there is good information, and we just have to get it. So.
Okay.
It's coming.
All right. Well, it's time for Lightspeed Lunatics now, and I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for giving me it today on a Friday.
Thank you.
And affording me the pass on standing you up last night.
Not a problem. Please give my regards to the other Lightspeed Lunatics.
I will. And thank God Sophie has made it out of Florida, and for all of you that are still there, our hearts, our prayers are with you. And for those that got out, thank God. Yep. All right.
I feel really bad about. I hate these things where you see people suffering and you know it's going to happen, and it's just.
Yeah, I'm going to cry. My dad's still down there, so I don't want to think about it. Yeah. Well,
send him good energy.
Yeah, I am. I'm sending him good energy, but I'm freaking out. Thank you so much, Ben. And with that said, folks, you all be safe out there, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.